Hi everyone, you're listening to Suchitra's live podcast with me, Suchitra. Welcome back to this space where I talk about books, art, and life in general. And I'm back to talk about another book that I'm implementing in my life starting this September. So I thought, why not talk about it? And though it's been just 2 weeks, I'd like to give some glimpse of how it's going. You guys must have remembered the book, The Bullet Journal Method by Ryder Carroll, that I've talked about early this year. And I really liked implementing it in my life so far. Like, I've heavily customized it for myself. Though it's something that I use every day, what I've realized is that, well, the author's intention, Ryder Carroll's intention, was not to be harsh on ourselves while we look at how our month has been, and the bullet journal's priority was just to be mindful and start over in case we fall off of our habits. But I wanted to have something in my life where I could see that I'm improving week on week and see how closer I'm getting to the goals that I've set for myself. And that's when I've heard about the book 12-Week Year by Brian B. Moran and Michael Lennington. As I started reading, I could see why the authors have stressed a lot on being emotionally connected to your goals and how it's the execution that matters more than anything else. I am a person who just gets distracted with a shiny new object that comes into the market. That there is a term coined for this. It's called the shiny object syndrome. So I've done goal setting earlier in my life too, but I always seem to divert from the things that I actually want to do because something else is, way more interesting. And I just abandoned my plans. In this book, The 12-Week Year, the authors talked about why they propose a 12-week year concept and the principles and disciplines that guide this 12-week year mindset as well. According to them, we set our goals at the very beginning of the year, never really follow through it, thinking that we have loads of time and lot of other things get in the way. But we still think we have a lot of time to achieve our goals. Hence, removing any urgency that is needed to execute, which is what we exactly need to reach our goals. The three principles that the authors have come up are accountability, commitment, and greatness in the moment, which form the foundation of personal and professional success. Let's look at them a bit closely. To quote from the book, accountability is ultimately ownership. It's a character trait, a life stance, and a willingness to own actions and results regardless of the circumstances. Commitment is a personal promise that you make to yourself, and keeping your promises to others builds strong relationships, and keeping promises to yourself builds character, esteem, and success. Finally, greatness in the moment. Greatness is not achieved when a great result is reached, but long before that, when an individual makes the choice to do what is necessary to become great. The 12-week year tackles both the way you think and the actions you take. At the action level, it concentrates on building capacity within a set of success disciplines that are required for effective execution. So, the authors have come up with principles and disciplines as well. So, the five execution disciplines are vision, planning, process control, measurement, and time use. It's important that you see the interconnectedness of these five disciplines. If you don't have a clear, compelling vision, then the other disciplines really don't matter because you are not living a life by design but by chance. If you have a vision but no plan, then you have a pipe dream. If you have a vision and a focused plan but lack process control, then you'll have a lot of frustration because some days you will execute and make progress, and some days you won't. If you have those disciplines in place but lack the courage to keep score, then there is no way for you to know what's working and what isn't. There is no way for you to make game time adjustments that can accelerate your success. Finally, if all those are in place, but you are not intentional about what you say yes to and what you say no to, then the day is controlling you. So, the daily and weekly house of a 12-week plan is what makes it execution friendly. When you get down to action level granularity on your plan, you're setting yourself up for success. So I found a template online to implement the 12-week year concept, and I'll link it in the description as well. Be sure to check out the book, and yeah, let's implement the 12-week year mindset into our lives. Also, I'd like to give a small suggestion that you need not follow this method or that method. You can follow anything that's working for you. Just make sure you're not overwhelmed and abandoning the process. I'm using currently the bullet journal method, combining it with the 12-week year plan, and I've heavily customized it to my needs. So I hope you guys test these things out and figure out what works best for you. So, yeah, coming back to talking about how my 2 weeks have gone so far of September, implementing the 12-week year plan is that, like I mentioned before, I found a template where I add all of my goals, and there's a simple formula that you just input it and you get a percentage of how many tasks you have done that week. So I guess my first week percentage was 71%, and this week's percentage is something I'll be calculating on Monday morning specifically. So I'd like to review how the week went on Monday morning. So that gives like a clear cut picture. Yep, that's all for now. Until next time, take care.